Hey guys, Card Bandit here, and welcome to the Yin Yang Fan. So in the spirit of this flourish, I thought I'd spend half the flourish yelling at you guys, and half the flourish talking. Now obviously that would get really annoying really quickly. But the flourish that I'm going to be teaching you guys today is the Yin Yang Fan. Now this is a tricky flourish, and it's not my own. And I will leave a link in the description box below so you guys can check out the original creator of the fan. I'm just hopefully going to give you some tips and things that you can use to help you actually do the fan. So guys, let's get straight into it. Alright guys, so the first thing you need to know is having the right type of deck. Obviously you don't want a deck that's too new like this one, because what if it's too new, you're going to have a little bit too much chaos going on, and the cards will slip out too easily when you're doing the fan. Go everywhere. The next type of deck you don't want is one with a cardstock that's too stiff. Because if you're trying this with a cardstock that's too stiff, the cards are also going to slip out. And once again, I have to pick those up. So the best type of deck that you can use for this is actually a deck that's well broken in, but can still fan. And that you're not too worried about bending too much, because this fan does require you to bend the cards quite a bit. Probably the best type of deck for it is one that you've used for a couple weeks, so it's not as slippery, and it's not a stiff stock, so it's still malleable. So to start learning this flourish, you're actually going to get rid of half the deck of cards. Which half doesn't really matter, it's a half. The reason why, well, let me get out my handy dandy checklist. It's A, going to be easier to fan the cards. B, you're going to get a little bit of a nicer spread. C, it's going to be more consistent. And D, should you use half of the cards? Yes, you should. Now, as you progress, you can actually use a full deck of cards. Now, it is trickier to use the full deck of cards, but you can use a full deck to do the fan. You just might want to start at half and then progress your way up to that. Or if you just want to learn with half and just do it with half the deck for some other different types of flourishes, that also works. So what you're going to be doing first off is getting into a deep straddle grip. So this is your regular high straddle grip. You want to get it into a deeper position, because when you're doing this move and you're flipping over the cards, you're going to be holding it with the pinky finger and your index finger, and when you're doing the rest of the move and fanning it out, having the pinky in a more secure grip is going to make the fan more successful. So from here, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be having the pinky positioned in the middle of the pack, and your thumb's going to come to the bottom corner. You're going to move your index finger out, and you're going to curl in your ring finger and your middle finger underneath the deck. Your index finger comes on top at this corner like so. So once you're in this position, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be extending your fingers and getting a bevel to start the fan out. Now how that works is you're going to be pushing out or extending your fingers, but what I found is instead of just extending your fingers to try and get the bevel, where you push forward with your index finger to start the bevel, what you can do instead is have your thumb on this edge and then push forward, because you get a nice smooth bevel when you do it that way, as opposed to just extending your fingers out to get the bevel. You can see there's a few clumps there, but if you have your thumb in the front, when you push forward, your thumb can pull back and you get a smoother bevel. So what you're going to be doing at this point is actually the hardest part of the fan. What's going to happen is you're going to release with your index finger, your pinky finger pulls down, and the cards will start spreading around the ring finger. The index finger and the middle finger come back on the cards, and the thumb comes underneath. So I'll show you that again. Your pinky finger pulls down, the cards rotate around the ring finger, your middle finger and your index finger come on top, and your thumb comes along at this corner on the bottom. Now it is going to be tricky, and you're going to have a lot of problems with this, which is why I say start with half the deck first, just because it's going to be hard for that pinky finger to rotate those cards around like that, and for you to grab all the cards right away. It does require a lot of pinky strength to do that portion of the move, just because that's the sole provider of the motion. And if you try and do it slow, it's going to end up falling apart like that. So, always make sure you've got that deep grip when you're starting out. You've got that bevel. And you do this motion quick where you pull down the pinky to get those cards to revolve. From this point, underneath what's happening is your thumb's going to perform a smear fan. So the cards get splayed out with the thumb as it performs a smear fan, and you can see that this portion of the deck that's held by these three fingers is actually bending because your pinky finger's here. And just to show you that smear fan, you've got your pinky finger here, your thumb supporting the rest of the cards, these three fingers are along the other side, and you perform a smear fan while you grip tightly with these three fingers, which will push the cards into your palm and around via the pinky. At this point, your index finger repositions itself a little further out. So you have your index finger here, you reposition it further out from the cards, so what it can do is push up on this portion of cards right here. So you reposition the pinky, you press down with the thumb, and you push up with the side of your index finger. And what that does is it starts curving the cards the other way, so you now have your Yin Yang Fan. So to close the fan, you can bring your hand along the bottom part of the fan, loosen up with your pinky finger, and everything else can close in. If you want to do some fancy motions before closing, that's also fine. Or if you wanted to close from the other side, you could probably do that so the cards are facing the right way. Whichever way you like, guys, you can close it pretty much however you want to at this point. And in the actual tutorial, or the original tutorial, he also says it's good for splitting the deck. So what he means by that is once you've got your fan, you can actually split the cards, I guess, at the index finger portion, spread the other cards together sort of idea, and do some cuts at that point, whatever you like, so you can split the deck using the fan as well. Alright guys, and that was the Yin Yang Fan. It is a pretty tricky fan to do when you're doing that flipping motion, so that's really the hardest part of the fan. The rest of it's a smear fan, and then just moving your finger up to get that curve, and then you can play around with separating the packets out or closing however you like. So this is a pretty cool fan. It just looks neat with the wave sort of shape it has, and it's just another type of fan that you can do, and it's one-handed too, which makes it all the more cool. So I hope you guys enjoyed the Yin Yang Fan tutorial. If you have any questions about the fan, you can leave it in the comments section below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can, guys. Thanks very much, and I will catch you later.